Lamar, a battle-hardened paranormal investigator, and his sharp-witted partner Chelsea embark on their most treacherous expedition yet, a desolate, snow-laden mountain range cloaked in whispered curses and long-buried secrets. Their mission checklist is stark. Record paranormal evidence. Establish contact beyond the veil. Survive until morning in a place no one dares linger. From the instant they cross the threshold into the frost-bitten woods, the world shifts. No birds, no rustling trees, only a dead, suffocating silence, pierced by a biting wind that feels less like weather and more like a warning. Something unseen is here, and it knows they've come. Deepening unease, the forest pushes back. As they trek deeper, the forest tightens around them, the air growing dense and oppressive, a presence pressing against their skin, whispering leave. The wind itself seems to carry faint voices, barely audible, threads of speech tangled in the icy gusts. Then, half buried under decades of rotten snow, they find it.
I see something.
What? What the hell? Oh my God, I see that too.
Yeah. What is that? What the heck?
Yo, it looks like an old cabin or something.
Yeah, it's like a makeshift little hut. Could be someone's like hunting cabin.
Careful. I'm always scared it's
Like,
gonna get. These things are booby trapped.
I'm gonna go from the other way.
What is it?
I don't know. Kind of looks like an animal trap. A little hut. Why here though?
A decrepit hunting cabin, skeletal and sagging under the weight of time. Where once it might have offered shelter, now it radiates menace. The air around it crackles with something wrong. Bracing themselves, Lamar and Chelsea set up their spirit communication gear. The static winds to life almost instantly, sputtering out jagged, fragmented voices. Then slicing through the chaos comes a single, unmistakable message. You shouldn't have come.
It just said they placed a curse.
They placed a curse?
That's what it just said. They placed a curse. I don't blame them. Stolen land. If someone came in and stole my land that I worked really hard to find and to build a whole community, and then someone stole it, I would place a curse too.
Their blood runs cold. This isn't a lost soul. This is ancient, angry, and it wants them gone. Escalation, screams that don't belong. Without warning, the silence ruptures. A scream rips through the night, raw and primal, echoing from no clear direction. It's not human, it's not animal, it's something else. Heart-hammering, they sprint back to camp. But what they find there is worse than anything they imagined.
I just saw a shadow in her tent.
Could it have been the tent itself?
Nope, that was a shadow. That looked like a person.
Are you at the chicken drum?
Are you by our tent? That looked like a person going into the tent. I saw the arm.
My name is Chelsea, and this is Lamar.
It does feel very indigenous here though.
It does.
Just has that vibe.
The campsite has been ravaged, gear strewn across the snow, tent flap yawning open, swinging in the cold. No footprints, no tracks, no signs of entry or exit. Lamar swears he saw a figure, humanoid, just slipping into the tent. But inside, emptiness, only the suffocating, skin-prickling certainty they are not alone. Conclusion, the land has spoken. As dawn crawls over the peaks, Lamar and Chelsea break camp in silence, haunted by what they've seen and what they haven't. The land has delivered its message loud and clear. This place is not yours, leave or be taken. But the nightmare isn't over. In their next chapter, Lamar and Chelsea face a threat far more dangerous than restless spirits. Because sometimes The most terrifying monsters are the ones still alive. Stay tuned. What's coming will chill you to the bone. Join the journey, if you dare. Before we plunge into tonight's unsettling tale, hit that subscribe button. It's free, and you'll join a tight-knit community of adventurers and thrill-seekers. Plus, when we hit 50,000 subscribers, a special surprise awaits. But only if you make it that far. For 2 years, James, a full-time van lifer and YouTuber, drifted across the UK, believing himself untouchable. Sure, he'd heard the tales. Knocks in the dead of night on parked vans, strangers lurking just beyond the firelight. Shadows that didn't belong, but they were just stories. Someone else's nightmare, never his, until one winter night in Sunderland when the shadows came knocking on his door. The perfect spot, or so he thought. That evening, James pulled into what felt like a dream location. Remote, quiet, tucked far from city lights. After a long day scouting sites for his vlog, he slipped into bed, wrapped in a cocoon of silence. Hours passed, nothing but stillness. Until the bang that broke the night. Suddenly, a thunderous bang smashed into the van's side, right above his head. Heart hammering, James shot upright, senses screaming. His breath fogged the chilled window as he leaned closer and froze. There, just inches from the glass, stood a figure, unmoving. Too close, watching. Whispers of madness. Before James could react, the air outside erupted into angry shouts. Slurred, broken words, sharp, jagged phrases, the unmistakable edge of hostility. This wasn't a drunk wanderer. This was something darker, more deliberate, someone fixated on him. A message in the fog. Minutes stretched into eternity as the figure traced something onto the fogged-up window.
And then I thought I'd get in cab and drive off, but I'm facing wrong way. It's a dead end down there. So that's something to bear in mind in future. But that's the first time in 2 years. That is the first time anything remotely like that has happened. And I'm in the middle of nowhere, like near a farm. Well, you'll see, I don't know if it'll get on this vlog or whatever, you'll see where I am. I'm still not going to be negative about van life or all like that. As I said, it's first time in 2 years this has happened.
James squinted, but couldn't read it. Didn't want to. His instincts screamed, stay put, don't engage. Outside, the figure muttered, about voices, about madness, about things no sane person would whisper to the dark. James' mind raced. He could start the engine, but the lane was a dead end. To escape, he'd need to turn around carefully, giving the stranger plenty of time to pounce. And with the windows fogged over, he was driving blind. He waited, muscles coiled, every second stretching tighter, vanished into the dark. At last, the muttering stopped. The figure drifted away, his shape swallowed by the shadows. Moments later, another vehicle's headlights swept past, and when they cleared, the stranger was gone. Question for all my viewers. Do you believe in ghosts, yes or no? And tell me why you think that. I'm reading every comment, and one of you will get a shout out in the next video. Make it good. I want the spookiest, wildest, or most convincing reason you've got. But from that day on, James drove with a new kind of awareness and a quiet, unshakable dread. Because out there, in the empty places he loves, someone is still watching. Before we plunge into tonight's chilling mysteries, pause, subscribe now. Over 95% of you haven't hit that button, and once we reach 50,000 subscribers, there's a dark little surprise waiting just for this community. Grizzly Gaz and the Witch of Barshaw Tower, the Hunter in the Fog. Grizzly Gaz, explorer and storyteller, set out to uncover the truth behind Barshaw Tower, the crumbling stronghold of Lady Sybil. A woman damned by her own bargain with the devil, her soul bound to the land, forever restless. Arrival at the edge of nowhere. Gaz pitched camp beneath skeletal trees, the mist twisting like pale fingers. His dog, Fendi, paced nervously. Something felt wrong.
Hello?
Not just the quiet, not just the dark. The gunshot echoes. As Gaz whispered Lady Sybil's tale into the camera, the stillness shattered. Crack, a gunshot, distant but distinct. Crack, another, closer. His heart raced. Hunters or something worse. The decision, hide or run. Gaz knew these woods, but they no longer felt familiar.
Don't know if I just caught that, but I'm pretty sure I've just heard gunshots. I don't feel like stopping here if there's shooting going on.
The fog was too thick, the light too strange, and the flashes through the trees. Were they flashlights? Eyes? Something else? With shaking hands, Gaz grabbed his gear, pushed through brambles and stumbled toward the tree line. The shots fell silent, the lights faded. He escaped, but as he looked back, one last flash cut through the fog, too high, too still to be human.
I keep seeing flashes of light, like eye shine, but that corner of my eye, down there, look. Don't know if it were eye shine or a torch down there.
What lurks closer than you think? Some dangers announce themselves. A knock, a voice, a crack in the night. Others stay hidden, patient, waiting just beyond the mist. The next chapter in these stories, well, you'll have to watch to believe. Subscribe now, and if you dare. In September 2018, a YouTuber known as My Backyard Birding set off on what should have been a tranquil solo hike through the remote forests of North Carolina. His mission was simple, almost charmingly mundane: to capture crisp, peaceful footage of the area's thriving bird life. It was supposed to be just another quiet day in nature, but what his camera recorded would shatter that illusion and plunge the entire trip into the realm of the chilling and unexplained. The footage echoes from the unknown. The recording begins innocently enough, leaves rustling gently in the breeze, birdsong flitting through the trees, twigs snapping softly underfoot. But then something slips through. A sound, faint, mechanical wrong, slices across the natural soundscape. It's robotic, distorted, utterly alien to the forest. It lingers only for a moment before dissolving back into the background as if nothing had happened. But the forest wasn't finished. A cry that shouldn't be there, Just as the calm begins to settle again, the camera picks up something far more bone-chilling, a human voice. Desperate, strained, crying out for help. At the time, the YouTuber, engrossed in his filming, heard none of it. But the camera did, and once the footage was uploaded, sharp-eared viewers couldn't ignore what they were hearing. Audio enhancements revealed it unmistakably, a faint, human plea echoing through the trees, swallowed by the vast, indifferent wilderness. Theories ignite what was out there. Speculation on the internet surged like wildfire. Was it the last cry of a lost hiker, stranded and fading in the dense woods? Could it have been a bizarre case of wildlife mimicry? A known but rare phenomenon where animals eerily imitate human sounds. But then, a darker theory emerged, one tethered to a real and tragic mystery. A sinister connection, the missing woman. Internet sleuths dug into local records and uncovered a harrowing coincidence. Just days before the hike, on September 25, 2018, a woman named Susan Sue Clemens had gone missing on the Appalachian Trail near Clingman's Dome, the highest peak in the Smoky Mountains. Sue and her daughter had briefly split up on their hike back to the parking lot. Sue never returned. For days, search and rescue teams combed the rugged wilderness. Finally, on October 2nd, her body was found, concealed in dense undergrowth, 2 miles west of Clingman's Dome, just half a mile off the trail. The baffling detail, hypothermia in summer heat. But here's where it turns truly perplexing. The temperatures that week were warm, between 65 degrees and 85 degrees, 29 degrees C, far too mild for a rapid hypothermia death. Even more unsettling, the terrain where she was found was so tangled and overgrown, many questioned how she could have reached it unaided. September 2015. Brian, a Disney YouTuber under the name Dizzy Bears, decided to break from his usual cheerful content. On his second channel, DB Interactive, he uploaded something unexpected, a solo camping trip in the Arizona desert. The first night, calm. The second night, madness, strange flashes in the forest. As darkness fell, Brian noticed flickers among the trees, lights hovering 30-40 feet above. No beam, no source, just bursts of shifting color, darting, pulsing, never approaching, never leaving.
Oh, what the hell? Did you see that? Okay. I'm alone in the middle of the forest. I have wandered around all day. I mean, way out in the forest. I've wandered around all day. There's nobody here. I'm the only one. And I keep seeing these flashes off in the distance in the trees. It's really weird. Hang on. Let me see if I can get you guys to see it. It happens about every minute. It's really strange. Let me see if you can see it. Hang on a second. I know it's dark, guys. Okay. I want you to kind of focus between in this. Oh, did you just see that? What the hell is that?
He live-streamed on Periscope, his viewers offering guesses, fireflies, chemical reactions, but none of it made sense. There were no roads nearby, no camps. And then came the guttural sounds, not quite elk, not quite human, layered with something metallic, something unnatural.
Do you hear the elk? Okay, the middle of these trees, up here. Hang on. Oh, my God. Up there. Oh, okay. Hi from Idaho. Okay. Up there in these trees. Oh, did you see that flash? It looked like between the two trees, it keeps flashing once in a while. Really weird, and I'm the only one out here.
For an hour, Brian sat, frozen by his fire, his heart pounding as the lights blinked silently in the dark. And then, just like that, they were gone. Theories flooded in, UFOs, spirits, secret military tech, but no answer ever arrived. Only one certainty remained. Brian had not been alone out there. August 2015. Outdoor YouTuber John Blatt set off on a solo camping trip deep into an undisclosed forest. Seasoned, confident, prepared, but this time, something felt wrong. No obvious threat, no strange noises, just a tightening dread in his chest, a primal warning screaming leave. John spoke into his camera, wrestling with whether to stay or go, but the camera caught something he didn't. The shadow in the trees.
As I have been walking through down the path the last couple hours, I've been sensing threatening sensations, like I was being stalked, and I was completely ready to be here another night, which is very disappointing. But I follow my intuition. Anytime I don't, I really regret it. And I honestly have never felt this before.
When John's viewers later reviewed the footage, they saw it. A figure, humanoid, pale gray, moving between the trees, swift, calculated, vanishing the moment it was noticed. These weren't hikers, these weren't animals, these were watchers. John packed up before nightfall, his instinct saving him from whatever was circling the perimeter.
Bear with me. I don't know if anybody will ever. You'll ever watch this video. Whoa! Look at that guy. Look at that dude. Oh well. I had just walked down through here not an hour ago, probably.
He never saw them, not then, but the camera did.
I need to set this down here for a second. I just need some water. But when you're out in the woods a lot and you hear odd sounds that just aren't normal, and I don't know how to explain that.
Some mysteries should stay buried. Across these three tales, one truth cuts through the noise. The wilderness is not empty. It sees, it listens, and sometimes it answers. The scariest thing in the wild isn't what you can see, it's what sees you. One of our incredible subscribers dared us to dive into the world of abandoned buildings, and we delivered. This video was crafted just for you. So, make sure you check it out. But fair warning, once you watch, you might never look at an empty building the same way again.